Great. Welcome to another session of the Bootcamp. And today we are going to learn to finalize with the mobile application development. And then I'll drop a small assignment. Basically, after we finalize with the source code, because we will finish early, the remaining few minutes we'll make sure that we share with you places where you can get really great interface designs. And then from you acquiring, from you getting these great interface designs, you can be able to create really beautiful apps. Because with Codula, you are able to create applications that can really be, so as to say, low code applications. So with the low code application, you have the freedom of creating really, really good looking applications. So that is our aim. We really aim towards you creating really good looking applications. So I can see some are still joining with audio, but that's okay. Uh, that's why I'm on the chit chat as I wait for you guys as I wait for our friends here to join with audio. Of course, they cannot hear me. Great. So we are going to begin. We are going to continue, and with mobile application, of course, with Codula, you can be able to create an application and launch it live, because you can integrate it with a database as we are doing. But after today's session, I just want to encourage you. It's like I'm going to give you two assignments, basically, simple ones. Number one, please go and install the application in your phone. Interact with it, log in, log out, give someone to log in, log out. Look at how you can add appointments, look at how you are going to maybe view the appointments. If nothing does not show, you tell us early so that we brainstorm and make sure that we debug your code. But remember, as you are coding, Codilla is really case sensitive, especially when you're calling a map that you've created in a previous page and you're calling it in another page. So you really have to be case sensitive there. So these are debugging tips that I'm giving you. So let us continue. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to refer my screen from the notes, and then from also, I'm going to reference my notes screen, and then also I'm going to reference my other screen, Codula screen, so that we can just continue. So let me share my screen. But I'm super excited today because we are going to really continue to finalize, and then we can look at how you can create really nice interfaces. Where do we seek inspirations from? Great. So we stopped here. We stopped from the make appointment screen. We stopped here. So let me look at the blocks. No, we actually stopped at the appointments. Let me have a look. It seems we didn't go far, but that is okay. That is okay. We still have some work to do. That is totally fine. That is totally fine. So in the previous session, we're able to look at the proceed button, of course. And when you open another screen name to login, that is in the screen one. Of course, that is just linking one screen to another. And then we were able to look at, I think, the sign up page. Let me have a look at the sign up page. We're able to look at the sign up page. Yes, we were able to create variables and learn what variables are. Of course, these are containers in your program that you can be able to store some values temporarily so that you can run your code. You store some values temporarily so that you can use them in the program later in your methods. And then we created the validate input method so that the user's input should not be empty. And then when sign up button.click, we were able to set some variables, check the input, and then if the inputs are okay, we store values in the tiny database and proceed to sign up. So let me have a look at sign up, if login, if we did. Yes, we did the login screen, and we were able to create an empty dictionary because, of course, in the sign up page, we were able to create a dictionary. So creating an empty dictionary to store that value in case a user has inputted something, but in case they haven't, the size of the dictionary will be 0 and the user will not maybe have existed in the app. And then there is this special method in which, because Firebase database, you don't have a way in which you can be able to, I mean, when you're storing data in Firebase database, you remove dots. For example, if I used an example of Priscilla at gmail.com. So that dot, it will bring issues because data in Firebase is stored in JSON. So that's why we remove this and store this as logged in user. And then this tag, we will use it later while we are working on the Firebase database. Now let's head to the dashboard screen. Yes, this is the dashboard screen, and I will be referring to the source code as well, but and then I'll be able to share with you this. So in the dashboard screen, the first thing that we want to do is there is this, as you can see in the assets, there is that calendar solid code, calendar solid.png. I want to just make sure that I am able to see the entire image. Yes, calendar solid.jpg.png, I mean. And with this, you are going to be able to put a calendar at the title bar there. We want to put that icon at the title bar so that when we have, or when someone wants to view all appointments, they can just go right ahead and click on that title bar, and they can be able to just see the appointments that are there. So let's head over to the source code. Let me close this. Yes. Now, just a second. Yes. Great. Now in this dashboard, as you can see, we have when dashboard.menu initialize. What do we mean by menu? Menu comes at the title bar. Okay, menu comes as a title bar. So let me try move this screen towards the end so that we can have we can view it properly. Let me move it towards the end here. Yes. Okay. So let me present so that you can be able to see. Awesome. So we have when dashboard menu.initialize, we should open that calendar. That calendar solely should be there. I mean, you're creating that because this is one of the dynamic components that you cannot be able to just drag and drop and be able to view. So that's why we are doing that. That's why we are able to do that. But uh, when you've created that icon, then you go right ahead and say when that icon has been selected, it should open the appointments screen. And then from there, we finalize with the Salon BTNs or the Salon buttons, which were basically cards that we were able to create. These are cards that we were able to create. And then with these cards, it's just navigating to another screen, storing some data in the tiny database so that you can be able to showcase in that other screen that has opened. Great. So having shared that, let's go to the source code and work on this. Fantastic. So the first thing that you're going to do is click here. You click here on the dashboard. Then when dashboard menu initialize, when dashboard dot menu initialize like that, then what should we do? We click on the dashboard again, and then we look for call dashboard dot add title bar icon. Call dashboard dot add title bar icon. That one is the third one there. And then for the icon, we can put it a blank text bubble like that. And then we can say calendar, because that is an icon in our assets, calendar day solid dot png higher, and then you can give it a name because to have it as it's there to just give, you can give a name. Let me see. Okay. Let's give it a name. We can call it my appointments, like that. My appointments, like that. Now, so that is when menu initialize, we've created that. So even when you hover on this, you can be able to see, add a new icon to the title bar. You will see a toast message on a long click with your menu name. Add this block to menu initialize event. Of course, we've added here, and as you hover, you can be able to see more description. So this will be a new menu icon that is going to be added to the menu, to the title bar menu. Fantastic. And then we can say when title bar icon dot selected, because we've created that menu. So what happens when it is selected? So we click on the dashboard again and choose that when dashboard dot title bar icon selected, like that. Of course, you can have as many icons as you want. You can just put here as many icons as you want, but we only need one. So when that is selected, we get an if statement here at the control section. We get an if statement, put it there, and then we can say if go to compare texts, like that, drop it there, give an equal sign like that. We can say if compare texts, get name, get the icon. Of course, you can use the icon, but let's use the name because that's why you have the name here. So if get name equals my appointments, we can just duplicate this one for accuracy and put it there. So if get name equals my appointments, then open another screen name here, open from the control section, open another screen name, give a blank text bubble, and then you can say appointments, depending on how you've called the screen. So make sure that you confirm first. Like mine, I've called it appointment. It doesn't have an S, but in my previous project, I was calling it appointments. So I will type exactly as I have here, appointments. Appointment, like that. Now, we are done with that. Now let's hover to the Salon Buttons. Let's hover to this, move to the Salon Buttons. So this is what we do. We come here and say when Salon 1 dot click, like that. It's a card actually. Have I called it in any way? Yeah, I just called mine Salon 1, Salon 2, but in the notes, you will be able to find that it's called Salon BTN. So maybe I can just head over to the designer and rename that, but it's fine. If you have it like that, it's still fine, but I prefer to be consistent with my notes. So let me rename that Salon BTN1. And then I can come to the next card like that, rename. So it's a card, Salon BTN 2. Then this one, Salon BTN 3. Finally, yes, Salon BTN 4. Then I'll just head over to the blocks again. Of course, it has changed to Salon BTN, which is a plus. So when that happens, we're going to call TinyDB1. So scroll down, you'll be able to see, did I have TinyDB1 component here? No. So go to the designer, and then if you don't have TinyDB here, go to the designer and go to the storage group and make sure that you drag TinyDB and drop it in the screen. It is a non-visible component, so it doesn't matter where you drop it in the screen. So drag it and drop it there because TinyDB is one of the components that we've used all over this page. So I'll head over to the block section and then I'll say when TinyDB, when Salon BTN1 dot click, what should we do? Scroll down, you'll find TinyDB1, say call TinyDB1 dot store value, first of all. So for the tag, we're going to call it salon name. So we put an empty text bubble. You can scroll up, you'll find it in the built-in components, put a blank text bubble like that and say tag is salon, then name, and then value to store. We call we can store depending on the name of the button. So for example, this one we just called this one Celebrity Salon. So we'll just use that depending on what you've written here. This one. Actually, my first is a new style beauty parlor. New style beauty parlor. So I'll just make sure that I have that new style beauty parlor. Fantastic. And then after that, we open another screen name appointment. So I'll just make appointment. This time, when you click on that make appointment button, it should open a make appointment screen. Okay, so let's click on the control section and then click on make open another screen name, put there, put a blank text bubble, and then confirm, always confirm, make appointment. So it's make underscore appointment, like that, make appointment. So I'll duplicate this so that we move faster. Always get used to duplicating. Sawa, duplicate, and then select. Make sure that you've selected here, Salon BTN2. And then after you've selected that, confirm. What did you write in the Salon button 2 is Ashley's Salon. Ashley's Salon in my case. So I'll just come to the blocks group and make sure that I have changed this to Ashley's. So it's going to be easy. Ashley's Salon. Great. So duplicate this again. We're only changing one term, one word alone, so that we have Salon BTN3, and the salon name remains the same, of course, but value to store. In my third button, I have Top Beauty Shop. Top Beauty Shop. Maybe it is a shop that still offers salon services. And then lastly, duplicate this to have Salon BTN4. Make sure that you select in the drop down Salon BTN4, and then mine is the celebrity salon, depending on what you've called. Celebrity salon. Great. And then it will open and make appointment screen. Great. So let's head over to make appointment screen. Let's over to make appointment screen. And this is going to be more technical. So let me head over to the designer section. So we have this Salon X. This is what I was telling you about. You're going to dynamically display this based on what we have written from based on the values that we've stored in the TinyDB. So when we come to the make appointment screen, and then the values that we've stored here, for example, is celebrity salon. The text here will be send appointments to celebrity salon. So that's why we were using Salon X here, so that we change this dynamically. And then as you can see, we have appointment date. We have, of course, hairstyle input, whereby we collect the hairstyle that the user wants. For example, it's a Abuja. And then appointment date. Appointment date is a date picker, as you can remember. Appointment time picker. And then extra description. And then a user can just submit. So let's make sure that we have that. Let's make sure that we have this, or we understand, or we try out this. So the first thing is we are going to create variables. We're going to create variables, and let's start with the first one. Let's go to the variables group and use initialize global. So the first variable that we're going to use is has errors, and it's there as a flag, so that if we're creating a method down there and we suspect that a user might mess here, we just set this to true. It's like a flag, and then we stop the program. Okay, it is really an efficient way of creating, or it's an efficient way of making sure that the user does not store empty values. So the has errors, we can initially store to true, okay? So that we change it to false when everything is good. Great. So has errors equals true. Then let's go to the variables again, initialize global. So we start with email, okay? Initialize global email to a blank text bubble, like that. So I'm going to duplicate now from here because it's just easy. Duplicate that one. Then from email, we go to extra description, or let me start with the order. Let me put it depending on the order that we have. So we have, first of all, salon name, okay? Itakuwa pale juu in that small text. It will be at the top where we have the small text, salon X. Then I'm going to duplicate this. After salon name, we're going to have hairstyle txt. The hairstyle that the user is going to select, hairstyle, or to type in. And then duplicate that one. Then we change this to appointment, date, appointment, date, okay? Appointment date, we can just say txt. These are just variables. And then we have appointment time, one word. Appointment time txt. And then extra description, txt. And that's it. So we should have 7 variables. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are good to go. Now, we are going to create the same code, source code that we created in the previous screen. And it is called, when make appointment to title bar is selected, when menu initialize and title bar is selected. So there's no need of us dragging again and dropping here. There is what we call backpack here. You can come to that other screen, into the dashboard screen like this. And then these are the source code that we need. Right click, copy to backpack, add to backpack like that. Okay, let me make sure that I also share my computer sound. Share sound, yes, there it is. Great. Then right click this and then add to backpack again. So we've added 1 and 2. These 2 blocks, because we need to use them again in this screen. So I'll just come to the appointments, to the make appointment screen like that. And then we can just right click and then paste. Right click, and then we have paste all blocks from backpack. And as you can see, they've been created here somewhere. Of course, they have errors, but we're going to correct them. So I'm going to drag them below so that I arrange them nicely here. Yes. And then for the dashboard, of course, it's not dashboard, it's make appointment screen. Make appointment screen. It's very similar to what we have in that other page, but it has errors because we are not in the dashboard screen. We are in the make appointment screen. So select the drop down like that, make appointment screen, and you're done. So we've saved a couple of minutes to drag and drop there. So I'll just empty my backpack like that. Awesome. Now we can continue. Now that we've finished with the menu, we can continue. So the other code that you're going to add is when this make appointment is initialized, okay? So that we populate some data on this salon here. So we can come here and say also and add a couple of code here when make appointment dot initialize. So just scroll down, you'll be able to see here, make appointment screen, and then say when make appointment dot initialize like this. So what should you do? You can call make appointment, call this one again. Sorry, not that one actually. You call, you come to the TinyDB, sorry, I was doing the same code here. Great, so when that one is initialized, how do we populate the text there? Come to the variables, first of all, we set, okay? We set global salon name. Set global salon name to what? There were some values that we are storing in the TinyDB in the previous page. So we'll click here and then say call TinyDB1.getValue. The tag is salon name. If you can remember dashboard screen. In the dashboard screen, we were able to create tags of salon name. So depending on what the user has clicked, it will come here with that specific tag, salon name. So be very careful. The way you've written salon name here should be exactly the same way as you've written in the other screen. So salon name, and then we are going to get email. Because this is the page where we are going to store data in the Firebase database, we're going to get that email that has been broken down and that dot has been removed so that we store value in our Firebase database. So what do? We set global email because we stored some email in a variable called logged in user. So click on variables, choose set, put there, select the drop down, and then say set global email like that to, and then we can duplicate this to save time, put it there, and then the tag is not salon name. The tag is logged underscore in underscore user. If you're not sure, come to the login screen, confirm, because we don't want to have errors. We don't want to have errors. Here it is, logged in user. You can even right click and copy. Control C from your keyboard. Then come to the make appointment screen. Make sure that you've pasted so that you are really as accurate as possible. And then we can set the form title text. If you can remember, we renamed a form title text there. We have this one as form title text. So we are going to drag, the set form title.text. It's here at the bottom. We have form title here. So we click on it and then select set form title.text to, like that, so that depending on what the user has clicked on the other screen, it will set the title. So it should set the title to send appointments to. Of course, you're going to use a text group, which is join. Put it there. And then you're going to extend it once, like this. Now, the first section, of course, you're going to put a blank text bubble. So let me put 2 so that our work is just to type. So we can say, and the bottom. Yes. So the first section, you're going to say, send appointments. It's just a text. Send appointments to, then full colon, space, then open the HTML break tag, BR. It's the HTML break tag, bold tag, not break, bold tag, so that we bold the salon name. So how do we put the salon name here? We come to the variables and choose get, put it there, and say get salon name, like that, and then we close the bold tag. So the bold, the value that will be on bold is here, global salon name. So let us make this end there, close the bold tag. Look at keenly at how I close my tag. Opening tag of HTML, of course, it's this one. And then closing, you write the same way, but it has a / before the tag or the element name. Very simple. Great. Now, we are also going to create a validate input. There are a couple of items that we're going to do before we store some value. Actually, this is one of the longest screens, but it's simple. So we are going to create a procedure called validate input, and we are going to call this, put it here, and then rename it to validate input so that the user does not leave blank data. We are storing data both in the, we are storing our data now in the Firebase database. So before that data enters in the Firebase database, let's make sure that the user hasn't messed up. So we are going to add 2 variables here, the first one and the second one. So the first variable is going to be, input value, the same way we were doing in the previous class, input value. And then here we are going to put input name like that. Then let's go get an if statement quickly because we've done this before. So drag and drop an if statement there and say if is empty like this. If is empty, and then get input value. Just hover on get input value and drag it and drop it there. Then we can call notifier one dot show alert. So we have a notifier here below. Call notifier one dot show alert notice. Let me see if we have it somewhere down below. Call notifier one dot show alert notice. We put it there. Okay. There. And then we can put a join text. Join like this. And then we can say, in the join section, we can just see field, then a space, and then we are going to hover on input name and put it there. Okay, let me hover again, input name, yes, and extend this a little bit, and then put a text bubble like that, field, input name, then a space first, so that field after field we have a space, input name, then a space, should not be empty. So press the space bar and then say should not be empty like that. Field input name should not be empty. So it means that the user has made some problems there. And then we come to the controls and then get another if, put it below here. And then this time we're going to use logic, the equal sign logic. And then we are going to say if get global has errors from the variables get global in the drop down global has errors equals to false. For example, a program set it to false somewhere. We now set it to true because we have an error already. So we can say set, like here, set global has errors to true. Still at the logic to true. Fantastic. We are done with validating input. Now, we are going to create the code for appointment date and appointment time to make sure that in this code, you have, in this source code, you have what we call, when someone selects appointment date, first of all, we store it in a variable, and then we change the text of that appointment date here so that it does not remain appointment date. It changes to the date that the user has selected. So let us start with appointment date because that one is shorter. So what we are going to do is we are going to scroll down. Actually, I thought that we had done this in the previous session, but it means that we will complete in the next session, which is not a problem. It is awesome. We'll complete the source code in the next session. So what you're going to do is we choose when appointment date here, we look for appointment, this appointment time. When appointment date dot after date set, okay? After a user has set a date, it's going to be a very beautiful date picker. But after the user has selected the date, now you are the one handling the methods. So we can say set global appointment date txt is as a variable section, set like that, then select the drop down global appointment date. Make sure that you select date, you don't confuse it with time, to, and then you're going to join get a text like this. Let us expand this so that it can have 5 strings. You'll know why. Of course, you can be adding as you go along. You don't have to cram this. Okay. And then the first section is appointment date from the appointment date here, input, or the appointment date picker. So we say appointment date dot day. So sometimes I don't like searching so much. So I can just pick any like this and then click on this drop down here. and then it's appointment date dot day iko pale juu, and then I can put a blank text bubble like this, because we always write date forward slash, I mean day, month, year. So I can put this forward slash like this. Then I can duplicate this again, put it here. Then I can duplicate this one, so that after appointment date, we have a day, we have month. Select month from the drop down, then finally duplicate that and select here, mwaka, like that, so that it is day forward slash month forward slash year. And then after that, we are going to change the text of that appointment date. So I will just click on appointment date dot set appointment date dot text to. So of course I said you can just pick any like this, and then select here dot text. Make sure that it is dot text, okay? Set appointment date dot text to, and then we can get the variable, because you've set that to appointment date. So let's get this variable, put it there, and then select to appointment date dot text. So what is happening here? After this date has been picked, we are going to set the variable here, the global appointment date to the date that the user has selected, day, month, and year, and then populates the text so that it does not read the select appointment date anymore. It reads the date that the user has selected. Now we are going to do the same for time. Scroll down, you'll be able to see make appointment time. Appointment time, like that. So you can say when appointment time dot after time set, drag it there. When appointment time dot after time set, we are going to do the same, but of course time picker is different from date picker. So we're going to get an if, because we want a user to be able to see the time in 12-hour clock system. We have the 24-hour clock system, which is the standard one, but let's use the 12-hour clock system. So if appointment time dot hour, so we are going to get math from the math. If appointment time dot hour, we're going to get this equal sign so that we utilize the greater than sign. So if we come to appointment time down here, dot hour, so we scroll down, you'll be able to see appointment time. Just take any like this, and then select from the drop down hour. If appointment time dot hour is greater than 12, of course 12 is, it means that imekuwa 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 2300 hours from there. So we come back to the math again and take this integer and then change this 0 to 12. So if appointment time dot hour is greater than 12, then we can come to here, set global appointment time dot txt. We want to convert this into a PM, okay? Set global appointment time, like that. Make sure that you select time, because date and time variables kind of look similar. And then get to the text, put a join, expand it 4 times. You'll know why. You don't have to cram this. You can expand as you go along. And then in the first join, you can say appointment time dot hour minus 12. So you can just duplicate this. Haya, duplicate this, put it here, appointment time dot hour. Sorry, we don't put it like that. Let's put it on the side. So what you're going to do is we're going, of course, to the math, because we want to subtract and then put a PM at the end. We're just setting it to a PM system, AMPM system. So appointment time dot hour minus 12. So you can duplicate that 12 there alone and put it here. So appointment time dot hour minus 12, and then we can get a text bubble like this. Put a full colon. You can put a space, full colon, then a space, and then we can say appointment time dot minutes. So you can duplicate here so that you don't go search there. Select from the drop down minute, and then we can put a blank text bubble from there and then say PM, PM, space first, and then PM. So it means that the time is in the PM, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's greater than, I mean, the time is greater than 12. So it's going to be 12 12 p.m., 1 p.m. like that. And then else, in the else, we can just duplicate, in the else section, we can duplicate this. So this one, we're not going to minus anything here. We're just going to remove this, take a candle, just put it on the side, then delete this math, the minus function. Alafu put the appointment hour direct, because of course it's I mean, I've not expanded this to an else. Please make sure that you do put an else like this. Expand it to an else first, and then this one should be in the else section. Then appointment time dot hour, but this time this is AM, okay? AM like that. AM like that. Fantastic. And then we are going to do the same as what we did here. Set appointment time dot text. We are going to change that. So scroll down here, you'll see set appointment time. You can choose any, as long as it has a connector like that. It has a socket at the end. So you can say set appointment time, click on the drop down dot text, make sure that it's dot text to, and then go to the variables, choose get, and then put there and select as a drop down global appointment time dot txt. We are done with that. Okay. Now we have two more functions before now we go to store data to our tiny database, to our Firebase database. So the first one is a reset form function. We want to create this so that when we are handling the click event, so that when you're handling the click event of what do we call, so that when you're handling the click event of Firebase or of that button, we just call this method. We don't have to clear everything at a go. So we call this method, we come to the, to procedures here, and then take to procedure like this, to procedure like this. And then this procedure, will call it reset form. So its function is when a user clicks the submit button, data goes to the database and it clears everything in the form. So what are we clearing? We're clearing everything: hairstyle input, extra description, appointment time, date, and the variables as well, because the program has finished using it. So let's start with hairstyle input. It's here. Click on hairstyle input. You can say hairstyle input.text like this. Set hairstyle input.text to a blank text bubble, and then set extra description. Let's make sure that the one that look alike is done with. Click on the drop down, extra description input.text to blank. Now let's go to the appointment date. Click here, set appointment date.text. Here it is. Put it there, appointment date.text. Duplicate this, appointment time. No, this one aren't alike actually. So we can just delete this, sorry. So after appointment date, just scroll down, you'll be able to see appointment time and choose set appointment time.text. Put it there and then duplicate this. And then we're going to clear now the variables. Let's come to the variables. We're going to start with appointment date not this one. Yeah, set. Okay, so we are clearing the variables as well. We can even start from the top. Let's start from hairstyle input. Set hairstyle input. Where is it? Hairstyle text to a blank text bubble. And now since variables are all alike, we can just duplicate this one, put it here. Other than hairstyle text, we have extra description like that. And then duplicate this, select appointment date. Join in the socket, appointment date. Okay, duplicate this, finalize it with appointment time. Appointment time, and we are done. Now, the other method before the on click button is called the Firebase database. We're going to now make sure that in case the Firebase database has error, we just showcase it instead of us the app showing logs. It can showcase the error. So we can come here, scroll down, you'll be able to see Firebase database. So you can click on when Firebase database dot error, this one. When Firebase database dot error, put it there, and then we can say call notifier one dot show alert. Yeah, notifier, call notifier one dot show alert notice. So it's often down here. Let me scroll. Call notifier one dot show alert notice like this. Then let it show a message, the message that is the error, so that we can be able to show it precisely. Now, let us handle the click button. Let us finish with the click button. Now that the method has been a bit long, but don't worry, it's just standard. It's just standard. So of course we've created variables and then made sure that that menu is here at the top. From the designer section, this is the menu. It will create a menu here and put the icon and the title so that when that menu is clicked, it still goes to the appointment list. Now, that one is done by this and this. We've discussed that. And then when that is initialized, we make sure that we fetch from the tiny database the salon name, so so that we are able to know that which type of salon has the user selected. Maybe the user has selected, let's say, celebrity salon. It will be able to show here as a form title text. Okay, and then of course we get also the logged in user, and then we validate our user input so that in case any input is empty, we set the global has errors to true and stop our program. Now, this one is simple. The appointment date and appointment time, we just make sure that the user, when we select or we make sure that the variable has the date, a day, month, and year that the user has selected, and it shows it in the text as well. And this is the same with time, though with the time we've changed it to AM PM system, depending on the time that the user has selected, and set the text as well. And then we've reset the form and we've made the Firebase error. In case it has an error, it should show a notifier with a message. Now, so everything is clear. Let us handle when make appointment button dot click. So we'll come here. So expect that when the user clicks this button, they've inputted everything. But if not, we are going to handle that as well. So after when make appointment button dot click, at the top, we're able to set appointment date and time to that variable, but we've not set to their variables, but we've not set the hairstyle text and the extra description. So we are setting it at the appointment button section. So this is what we do. Set global hairstyle, come to the variables, set global hairstyle, click on the drop down, hairstyle, txt, to, we come here, we select hairstyle input, dot text, here. It's here at the top. Yeah. And then you can duplicate this. And then we do for extra description, like this extra description dot text, drop down extra description input dot text. And then we can call a progress bar because, of course, when a user is performing actions, we call a progress bar so that we are checking in the background so that that progress bar stops in case there is an error and we point it to the user. But if everything is okay, it stores data very well in the Firebase and then it stops and navigates the user where necessary. So we're going to call notifier one here, call notifier one dot show alert. Call notifier one dot show alert in the notice, we are going to put a text and say, no, it's not alert, sorry. It is progress. I've just said progress and then selected alert. So kindly select progress, call notifier one dot, show progress dialog. It's somewhere here. Show progress. Where are you? Yeah, show progress dialog. So in the message, you're going to put making appointment, of course, like that. And then in the title, we're going to put a blank text and say, please wait, so that the user can wait. Now, here, after we've placed the text like that, we are going to set global has errors to false first before we start checking. So we come here at the variables. Where are the variables? It's here the built-in blocks. Set global has errors. Set global has errors to false. False is at the logic. False. We set it to false first, and then we start calling the validate input, so that in case this has errors, I mean, in case the user has not inputted something, it will change to true. But first of all, we change to false. So how do we call the procedure? We come here to the procedures and choose the validate input. Of course, kuna here call reset form that we just created, and then there is this one that we created, the first one. So we start with that one. And then the input value, let's put a text. I mean, the input name, we'll put a text. So the first one that we're going to start with is hairstyle, because we don't want to make extra description compulsory. So let's just make sure that we have the hairstyle, appointment date, and time compulsory. So the first one we can say hair style, like that. And then input value is global, get global hairstyle. So select that one and then click on the drop down and select hairstyle, global hairstyle txt. And then we can duplicate this. Other than hairstyle, we have appointment date. We don't want appointment date to be empty, and yet the user has to make sure that they have selected the appointment date. So we select appointment date like that and call this appointment date. And then we can duplicate it again and call this appointment time. Make sure that select from the drop down appointment time, and then call this one appointment time. So what are we saying? In the validate input, we are making sure that when a user has selected, or when a user, if you can look at the method here of the validate input. So in case field appointment date is empty, so it will say field appointment date should not be empty in case the appointment date is empty. So it will be able to know itself, to know which appointment or where the problem is. That's the importance of having these methods. Sawa? Okay. But if everything is okay, what do we do? Let's go to the if. We say if, this is the if that checks if everything is okay. So if we come to the logic, get an equal sign, and then to the variables, get a get, if get global has errors equals false. That means that the user has inputted everything, and the global has errors equals to false. So if it is equals to false, now let's call the Firebase DB and store some value. So we'll click here and say call Firebase DB1.store value. Yes, call Firebase DB1.store value. For the tag, we are going to put the global email, because that email is the one that we have broken it up. As you can see, let me come to the top. When the screen is initialized, this one, global email here, it's the logged in user. Remember, we say the email, we don't want that email to have a dot. so that we store our data clearly in the tiny database, in the Firebase database. So we are going to get this as the main, so that is the main tag in the tiny database, like the unique identifier of the user. So for the tag, we are going to say get global email here, variables, global email, like this. And then for value to store, I mean, we're not putting global email directly like this. Let's go to the text, put a join, and then we can extend this one once, and then we can say get global email like that. And then because we want to store it email, then / in a special tag or in a special document called appointments. It's very important because in Firebase, the moment I put a blank text here, we are saying that global email is the main folder, and then inside that folder we have, if I put a / like that, appointments, like this, and then a /. Make sure that you are accurate with this, and remember this, we're going to use it in the appointments screen. So then after that, we can get a clock. We can click on the clock and then say call clock.get mails, so that it gets the instant time in which the user has selected they've sent the appointment. So it is here, the instant time that the user has clicked or submitted the data. So for the instant, you can say just get clock one dot now. Here, call clock one dot now, like that. So this one is supposed to be here. We are still here. So it's join global email appointments, then / the clock, so that it saves the time in which the user has created that appointment. Now for value to store, it's very simple. You're going to get a dictionary and store value in JSON or in key value format. And that one we use what we call dictionaries, and it is in the dictionaries. And then you can say make dictionary, value to store, we make dictionary. So it will be in a way that you are pressing an email, or you're putting an email in the tiny database, and then in this tiny database you are adding data in key value, depending on what the user has selected. So Shreya, you have a question. I was I was really longing for such a time. Please unmute yourself. Oh, okay. So you're asking, why do we use both TinyDB and Firebase? What is the difference in its functions? So we are using TinyDB and we're using Firebase because these two are different databases that interact with each other. TinyDB is the one that is going to store data locally to your phone. It stores local data. But Firebase, it stores real-time data to it stores real-time data to the Firebase database. So we are using the two because, for example, you've already logged in your system, and then you leave the phone. You leave the phone and then come back to go to other apps, then come back to the system. You want the phone to remember you as the user. You have to make sure that you store some little bit of data in your tiny database, so that if it remembers you as the user, it can fetch for you the exact data from the Firebase database online. Think of it as the way you normally use these applications, the way you normally use even WhatsApp as an application. You will only log in once, and then that data is stored in your phone, so that when you go to other apps, it will be able to know that, okay, it is Shreya that has been able to to create an account with us. So we are storing this data in the phone. So when you come back to the app, it fetches for you only your messages, only messages for you. If you don't do that, you can even be getting messages for other people, and a user will be confused. So you use both databases and balance between the two and save data depending on what you want to have. Let me know if you have understood that. Oh, that is fantastic. That is awesome. That's a great question. That's a great question. Please ask questions, okay? Please ask questions. So we are storing value now in the Firebase database, and the first value we are going to store, of course, is hairstyle, the key. So we are going to expand this 5 times because we have hairstyle, extra description, appointment date, appointment time, and salon name. So let's drag pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as you know how many that you have, you can drag, but you can drag as you go along. You don't need to cram. I will insist. Please don't cram, just understand. Okay, now for the key, we are going to use, we are almost done actually. So for the key, we are going to put here the first key. Please remember these keys. We are going to use them in that other appointments screen. So in the key, we are going to say hair style like this, hairstyle. And then in the value, get global hairstyle .txt. So let's click on the variables because you've been storing this. I know you can now appreciate the use of variables because it would be very cumbersome for me to just to go to the hairstyle txt, then concatenate date and time from here. You just put in the variable and then use it. So hairstyle txt like that. Then we can duplicate this, put it here. The second value that you're going to store other than hairstyle is extra. Please don't put spaces in before or after the text. You will have errors. Extra description. And then for value, we can duplicate this and then put in the value section. And in the dropdown, select extra description txt. Then duplicate this again. So we have a hairstyle extra description. What is left? Appointment date, appointment time. So appointment date, duplicate this, select global, get global appointment date. And then you can duplicate this. Now this one is for appointment time, appointment time like that. Duplicate that and then put it here, appointment time. And then finally, salon name. I should have started with salon name, but it does not matter. It will still fetch as long as you know the exact key. You call the exact key, and the way you populate the data, it does not matter. So let me call this salon name like that. And then for the value, we can duplicate this and then put here salon name. Fantastic. Now, finally, now everything, you've done your part. You're clearing everything and telling the user, hey, everything is fine. And you've made an appointment successfully. So we stop that progress dialog that we have. It has been loading. It has been loading. So we'll click on the, where is it? Notifier, call notifier one.dismiss progress dialog. Where are you? Yeah, here you are. Call notifier one.dismiss progress dialog, and then call notifier one.show alert. Let's alert the user that they've made an appointment successfully. Appointment, so put a text. Appointment. Appointment created successfully. Today, I don't know my spellings. Yes, appointment created successfully. Then you've dismissed the progress dialog, then call reset form. We don't want us with a user has already clicked submit, they now go and manually delete it. No. We have to call that method in the from the procedures, call reset form, put it there. And then you open another screen name. We are finalizing. This is just the user has done everything correctly. Open another screen name. Appointment, depending on what you have. I'll confirm mine. It's appointment with only a T, without an S. So if you called yours appointments, make sure that you call it exactly as you've called it. So appointment. And then finally, in case this did not work, we come here at the bottom and then click on the, we can duplicate this. We can duplicate this and dismiss from here. So in case this one is false, here as a if global has errors is true, it will dismiss the progress dialog. From the bottom here, it will skip this then method here. It will skip that method, dismiss progress dialog, and showcase the errors that the users have made. Wow, this has been a long code, but it's really easy to comprehend. It's really easy. The first thing, of course, we've done is made sure that we've populated the right menu at the top, and then called from the TinyDB that logged in user email, the one that has been broken down, and we are going to use that here in the appointments section. Okay, so any question up to that point? Yes, we do have a question. Just a second. I'm trying to find the Zoom's chat. Yes. So Shreya, you're asking, is there a way to add comments? Yes. Oh, Shreya, I always forget about showcasing comments. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. Let us add a comment. This is really important. It's really important. So how do you add comments? You can right click, for example, here, right click, and then there is add comment here. And then in that comment, you'll be able to see like a question mark there, and then you can type there. This method does 1, 2, 3. Sawa. Or this, let me write what it does. This method stores values in Firebase database. Yes. So it does not affect the code in any way whatsoever. So if I just come here and click there, I'll be able to see what this does. Okay. And even maybe here in the make dictionary, I can be able to click and say it stores in, it stores values in the dictionary in, let's say in keys and values, okay? So you can even say that, please write comments. It's really important. It's really, really important. I really forgot about comments. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. That's a really great question. Any other question? Awesome. Awesome, guys. So I just want to encourage you. I thought we were going to finish today because I thought in the previous session we did this, but it was just my thinking. Maybe I was dreaming. We will finish in the next session. And then from there, we shall embark or we shall just dive into ideation. And then we will make sure that you have, we create your apps. So as I said before, we still are working on ensuring that you guys have bundles. And we will let you know in the course of the week. If everything is okay in the coming session, we are going to have some airtime. So Glory, you're asking a really important question. You said we should not put space, but appointment screen created successfully has spaces. Oh, that's a great question. Sasa, when you're using text bubbles that stores spatial data, for example, like keys and values. For example, in the Firebase database like that, the way your data is going to be structured in the Firebase database, okay? That in those areas, make sure that you write it exactly as it is. But in a notifier is just there to tell the user, hey, everything is successful. You can even write in Swahili from here. But here, open another screen name, you have to be exactly precise. For example, here, make appoint in the appointment screen, the way we've written here, you have to be exactly precise, make sure that you've put there and without spaces. If you add a space, it won't recognize that screen. Okay, so it depends with where you have. If it is an alert, you are alerting the user. especially in notifiers. You're telling the user, this one, it should not be empty. This one is successful. Write even in Swahili, write even in mother tongue, put as many spaces as you want. But there are scenarios like this, where in these text bubbles, store exactly precise data, like keys and values. You have to really make sure, even in variables, when assigning variables values, you have to be really, really precise. Okay? So that is the difference. Let me know if you've understood. Glory. Any other question? I've really loved your questions today, guys. Any other question? Awesome, Glory. I'm happy you've understood. So thank you for being patient. I can see we've extended by 5 minutes. So let's be encouraged and continue working with Cordula. So the assignment that I wanted to give, let me just speak about it for 2 minutes so that we prepare in the next session. But I can tell you something small to do. I'll give you a small assignment for you to just create variables for the coming session, okay? Then the coming session will just dive in and make sure that we have everything that we need. But the assignment that you're going to do is, when creating apps, we often seek inspirations from what the users have created out there. We often have a lot of inspirations from the users. How do we see these inspirations? You can just Google here, mobile app inspirations. Mobile app design inspirations. Of course, other than this, we also have the App Labs page. I'll discuss this more in the next session. App Labs. Applabs.com is one of my go-to sites. There are many like this, but I like App Labs. So when you just Google here, you'll be able to see in Dribble and also Pinterest. I know some of you know what Pinterest is, but you can just make sure that you go to these links, Dribble and Pinterest. You can be able to really see beautiful designs. Don't just create and put green backgrounds, red colors, color clashing here and there. No, let us have, let us create really beautiful designs. In the previous sessions, I've seen our participants even utilizing dark theme. It really excites me. It does not matter. You can have whichever you want. For example, this is like a podcast app example. Let it load. Yeah, as you can see, this is a very minimalistic but beautiful design. We are going to walk with you through on how you're going to create this, so don't worry. We will make sure that you understand that, and then that will be in the next session after we've understood that, so that we create really beautiful designs. Guys, let us make really beautiful designs so that when you launch your applications to the users, you launch to the Play Store, users are able to see absolutely beautiful designs. Here we have also at the Pinterest. I don't know why it's taking some time to load, but you see, they're even getting some designs from Dribble, and it's from Pinterest. If you click here, for example, in the app design inspiration, this is going to be our next thing to do. But for now, I'll give you a small assignment whereby you're going to create variables. Before the next session, you're going to create only some methods, then I'll counter check. You can share with us, and then we will be able to proceed. So thank you guys for being patient up to this time. We really appreciate that. I'll stop sharing. Thank you for your patience up to this time. I'm really happy that you've been patient with us, and we make sure that that will not go unrewarded, because we have your list here. We have your list here. It won't go unrewarded, and we'll also make sure that any opportunity that comes in fast, you will be the first one to know, and the first ones to receive. Great. So I wish you an awesome weekend ahead. It is always awesome interacting with you in these live sessions, and also in those who are watching us live. It is awesome to always interact with you, and we really look forward to seeing you again next time. Have an awesome afternoon ahead.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you as well. It's awesome to hear from you when you speak. Thank you. Have an awesome weekend.
You too.
Thank you.